What did you feel like went wrong tonight?
There were 2 runs at the end of the second and the third. They created all the separation. I mean, they played well the whole game. They're a young, athletic team, fresh look. So you knew they were going to come in, and obviously what they did in Denver, and they're excited to get out there, and it showed. We had some resiliency, some fight, but gave up too many open threes. Luke Kennard, a couple turnovers that gave him open looks, easy transition. So it's crazy. You can play 40 good minutes and lose it in two 4-minute stretches. The way the NBA is, that's what happened tonight.
Steph, 10 of 42 as a team from 3. What do you think? I guess the quality of looks you guys were getting from behind the arc was it just a tough shooting night, or what did you see?
I can't diagnose the whole every shot, but I feel like early in each half, it wasn't as like the ball didn't have as much energy as it usually does. You got to credit their defense. They have a lot of athleticism, length. They like to switch a lot, so a lot of our off-ball actions weren't necessarily, timing up right. And so, certain games you can feel like you're pressing if the ball's not hopping around, and clearly each possession, that was a good shot. So we can obviously correct that, but they had a really good defensive effort to try to take away some pet actions and stuff like that. Felt like we could probably get downhill a little bit more when they were hugged up on shooters, but Monday morning quarterbacking right now.
Stephen, what are the, I don't want to say secrets, but what are the best ways to attack a team that's built like the Hawks are with the length and the athleticism to attack their defense?
I think the second half we tried. Usually out there's going to be 1 or 2 guys that you can kind of go at to create an advantage. Doesn't mean they're just going to let you, that Olay defense, just let you get to the paint. But, you can create an advantage and then make them react, get the ball moving side to side. We did that well for short spurts out of the game. And then you just got to be able to, have composure and attack if you have a little bit of an angle just to get downhill. I think we struggled to get paint touches tonight. The ball was kind of just swinging around the perimeter, and they're able to keep 5 bodies on bodies. Like that's usually what good defenses do. Tonight we didn't have that answer quick enough.
Steph, Moses and Pods both struggled tonight, and they've had their ups and downs this season. What do you say to a younger player when they're struggling to find the consistency the group needs?
It's part of the journey. I will say, like, my first, year 5 for Moses, year 3 for BP. Is that right? Because they're here, everything's on the spotlight, and there's going, it feels like it was probably a heavier weight than even I experienced early in my career. But you just kind of have to, diagnose or be honest with yourself after each game, what you could have done better, but not lose your confidence. You're going to get another opportunity in the next game to make an impact. Quick decisions, shoot when you're open, don't be results-based. It's about the process of how you're playing, how you're approaching the game that ends up helping us, in the short term and helping you as a player in the long term.
Steph, is there a margin that you feel like if you guys can keep it within, even if you're trailing, that you can still get it at the end of the games, that there's a certain margin that it's within, and you feel like if I'm close enough, I can get us there?
Yeah. We cut it to 15 with, I think it was 4 minutes left, something like that. There was still belief at that point. When you look up and it's 20 with 6 minutes, you got about a minute or two to, have a realistic shot. But Yeah, I feel like if it's within 10 to 15 with more than 3 minutes or something like that, it feels like that's within reason. I know the percentages are not in your favor, but it's worth staying out there and trying to grind out a couple possessions to see how it goes.
To follow up on the question on Moses and Brandon, what do you imagine might be like the challenges of being a role player on the Warriors, like for this franchise specifically, with you, Draymond, and Jimmy on the team?
It's all about winning, and I think that's it's a challenging thing, but it's a great thing in terms of building character and bringing the best out of you over the long term. It's just we obviously have a lot of attention. There's a lot of noise. We have a very dedicated, loyal, passionate fan base. Everybody in this room who covers us on a daily basis, you're gonna have all these reads and projections and grading of each player, and it's part of the nature of the success that we've had. And if you embrace it, I think winning is fun, and the levels that we've been at none of that's guaranteed in this league, and so you gotta have to take the good and the challenge with what environment we've created here.
Steph, not so much related to tonight's game, but how do you sort of describe Al Horford's impact these last few games? It seems like he's getting back to the way he's played most of his career, and how much do you guys need him to be healthy and productive the way he's been here for a week or two?
He's been a huge part of, some big wins for us recently. And the consistency, him and Melt have been, they're like anchors to lineups for different reasons. And I know Al was struggling early just to be, available and healthy and dealing with some injuries that kept him out. That consistency allows him to just get comfortable. And on both ends of the floor, he's a presence in those short spurts that he's out there. Like you said, tonight was difficult. Just they're a very interesting team, kind of positionless. Like I hate calling it small ball because there's like 6'9" guys out there all over the place. But having Al available helps us on a nightly basis just because he's heady IQ, shoot the ball, play defense. Just gives you a great presence out there.
Steph basically said he felt like y'all might have played like 40 good minutes, but 8 bad minutes. What was the trouble, do you feel like, tonight?
I
Particularly
think it was all about Atlanta. They just played a great game. We couldn't turn them over. They shot it lights out, 32 assists, 7 turnovers. I didn't think we played poorly. I didn't think we played that well. Obviously, 10 for 42. We needed to shoot better, but more than anything, they just played a great game and deserved it.
Steve, young, long, athletic team from the Hawks. Blazers kind of built similarly. You guys obviously have had some struggles against them this year. What will be the quickest switch for next game?
Well, I'm pleased with the process. It didn't feel like a high turnover game. I mean, obviously we ended up with 16, and I think we had 3 offensive fouls. It was not a loose game on our part, and not a good shooting night. So we've just got to stick with what we've been doing the last few weeks. Keep it simple, take care of the ball, and obviously knock down some shots. That always helps. But again, I don't think we were that bad. I thought it was more just they played a great game.
You mentioned the turnovers. You think you had 5 in the third quarter. They had go on that big run. Just what did you see there the second half of that third quarter?
Well, they're long and athletic. They did a really good job defensively. They did a lot of switching. We got into a couple late clock situations where they kind of jumbled us up with their switching, and then we turned it over. So that stretch was a killer for sure. But again, these nights happen. There's talent all over the league. These guys are young and athletic and long, and they can give you a lot of trouble.
What's your philosophy on how long to keep your starters in a down game?
was a tough one tonight. I mean, I was ready to take our guys out with probably 6 minutes left. I think they were up like 23 or something, and I was ready to pull the guys, but we made a little bit of a run, and it's a little bit of a feel thing with this group. With Jimmy, Dre, Steph. I'll pull them a little earlier than I would have, 6, 7 years ago with younger legs. So you just have to feel it. I felt like we needed to give it one more chance there after we fell behind by whatever it was, early fourth, and we did. We made a little bit of a run, so I kept them out there for a few more minutes.
You mentioned the shooting. You get 30 from Jimmy, you get 30 from Steph. The role players don't really add in as much. What sort of was going on with that?
It's a basketball game. Last game, the bench had like 60-something points, so every game's different. We needed some shots to go in. We needed a couple guys to get hot. It didn't happen, and it's the way it goes.
Luke Kennard scored a season-high 22 points tonight, scored all 4 of their threes in that third quarter. A lot of them kind of right in front of your guys' bench. Was there any KYP issues there, or was it just him kind of catching fire?
I think 2 of them were off turnovers, corner threes. They have a lot of playmaking with Jalen Johnson and Daniels and Alexander Walker. So they can break you down from multiple spots. And so they broke our defense down. Okongwu hit a couple threes from the top. And Kennard got going. So, like I said, they played a great game.
Steve, specific to Brandon and Moses, they've had some really high points this year. They've also struggled at times. Why do you think the consistency night to night has eluded them?
Well, it's part of being in this league. It's, advancing. I've always felt like, the great players play really well like 4 out of every 5 nights, and role players, it's kind of 2 out of every 4. There's a reason the guys make all the money. They're good almost every night. And for most of the league, guys like me when I played, it's kind of an every other night type thing. And if you can get to, 4 out of 5, you're going to make a whole lot of money, and you're going to become one of those guys. But that's all. It's all this league is. The great players can do it every night. The younger players are trying to develop that consistency.
Anthony, what kind of challenges did Atlanta's athleticism and size, with their wings, present to you guys tonight?
Man, like you said, they got a lot of long, lanky dudes out there, especially with their guard play. So they did a well job of just getting to the ball, being aggressive on their switches, using their hands as best possible. I mean, that's how they can, win games and get in transition. So they did a well job about that today too.
Do you feel like your game is kind of getting back in rhythm over the last few weeks?
I feel like it's coming along. Same time, like I said, I'm just trying to take it day by day, game by game, see whatever the next game holds. Feeling pretty confident. Just got to see what what next day endures.
Where do you feel sharper maybe than your first few games back?
I think just confidence-wise, you know what I mean? Just feeling more confident just to be my defender off the dribble, making the right decision. I think when I first got back, I was so used to, playing against coaches and everything like that. So now, when I got back, I'm going against 6'7", 6'8" wings and 7-footers and quick dudes. So I think that was just the biggest adjustment for me.
How about your shot? I know you had a couple good games recently.
Yeah.
So I didn't shoot it well. Where do you feel like that's at?
Just more reps, and I think I've been more dialed in on my details of my shot. Talking with multiple people and staff, how they see me shooting the pass and how I've been shooting when I first got back. The difference of it, and difference of the height of my ball, the way I'm snapping my wrist, my elbow being high, all those things, I wasn't doing entirely, and I wasn't enforcing on my shot at first. So now I'm kind of just doing all those things and making sure.
How are you feeling? Minute-wise, they've been very careful with you. I think you're up to about 24, 25 now. How do you just kind of feel about where you're at and when you think you can make another leap?
I feel good. I think today was a little different, just in terms of the pace of the game. It was a lot faster. That's what these type of teams want to do. But I feel good, just in terms of the minutes I've been playing. I'm gonna leave my minute restriction and everything like that up to the medical staff. As long as I can do is just be effective in the most minutes that I have, and just whatever I can do out there when I'm out there, just capitalize on it.
Steve said he liked the process of how you guys played today. I was wondering, 10 of 42 from 3. But what did you think of just the shot quality overall? Do you think those were good shots? Was it one of those nights where you guys couldn't make anything?
Man, 10 of 42 is tough. Getting up 42 threes at the same time is very good for us. We just gotta, knock them down. I feel like we missed a lot of easy ones. We had some ones that was halfway in the basket that jumped out, and those type of fields and points, those add up. So instead of being a 12-point game, it could be a 7 or a 6. You know what I mean? And a team like that, they thrive off athleticism and they thrive off getting transition. So slowing the game down was where we want it to be. But we got a lot of great licks. Tough game. They played well, and we just got to do better on defense.
How do you kind of square away the fact that you guys played well for most of the game and just came up short?
Be better. That's all we can do. Watch film. They scored 124 points on us, which is not us at all. We should be holding teams closer to 100 points. At one point we had a stretch where we was holding teams under 100. You know what I mean? So you just got to get back to that, dial in back on that, and understanding, what it took and what happened. We let some of them their shooters get loose, and those type of things that they definitely add up.
Steph was kind of saying you guys played pretty well for 40 minutes, and there were a couple stretches here and there where the game kind of turned. What do you sort of make of those stretches where you guys, where the Hawks sort of made their move?
We just didn't get to the shooters. They made shots. We were just a little bit behind on the actions, but give them credits. They came out with a lot of energy and pop. They made their runs when they were supposed to, and we had good looks. We just didn't drop, and they made theirs.
What are the counters to length and athleticism?
Jump stops and pivots, and just solid, crisp passes. But it happens sometimes. So I'm sure we'll work on that tomorrow.
You shot, was it 10 of 42 from 3? What do you sort of make of the shot quality you guys got tonight?
We got good looks. Like I said, just didn't drop. It's just one of those nights that didn't go in our favor. But I feel like we played pretty solid, like Steph said, for 40 minutes. So you have nights like these and, try to get stops and go out and, make runs, but, they count it.
Gary, Steve mentioned how you guys cannot get them to turnover, and also like the open threes, especially like Luke Kennard has like 6 threes in the second half. Like, what do you think about that?
We just got to find them, find a transition. Kennard and Alexander Walker got a few easy looks, and then that just carried over confidence, and that leads to them both hitting big ones, down the stretch, and then Luke got hot. So. Just defense awareness, transition, just to find the shooters.
You guys are playing a kind of similar team in Portland next game. So what are sort of the adjustments you guys think they'll make?
Yeah, you got to don't turn over the ball. Match their energy and effort for 48 minutes. We haven't been the best against Portland this year, so we owe them one. So just come out with energy and effort and match their intensity. Thanks, guys. You guys are great.
What did you think the difference was tonight?
What, tonight?
Yeah.
What was the difference? A lot of miscues. Didn't make too many shots, but we just didn't guard anybody. Low effort game, which can't happen at home, can't happen anywhere. But I think that was it. Very, very, very low effort.
As far as specific to Brandon and Moses, when you, in your experience with younger players, the guys are kind of up and down, what advice do you give them?
Stay in it, man. You got to understand that this league is about ups and downs and staying in the middle. And then you just got to figure out ways to impact the game when your shot isn't falling. You know, you rebound, you take a charge, you dive on the floor, all of that stuff. But they'll be all right. This is part of being a pro. I think we can all say that we've been through it. You ask all the right questions to everybody and get back in the lab and figure it out.
You know, you guys have been really low turnover recently. Today, you're 16. How do you feel like collectively, lately, you guys have been doing taking care of it?
I think we've been doing well taking care of the ball. We did have some turnovers. Out of that 16, probably at least 5, 6, 7 of them they weren't live ball turnovers. Some of us like bad pass out of bounds, illegal screens. I mean, I'm not gonna say those are turnovers we would take, but like at least it ain't like a live ball turnover throwing it over the top for a layup. So there's a silver lining.
Yeah, I mean, you said that Steve's been talking recently about how different the league is than maybe it was when you first got in. Just teams feasting more off turnovers, higher transition. Like, do you feel that? I mean, are turnovers even more deadly than they used to be?
Yeah, man. Turnovers, easy points. Those are hard to come by in this league. And then for anybody, once you see that ball go through the basket, it just gets bigger and bigger, and your confidence is greater and greater. So, I mean, as of lately, I think we've been doing a decent job of taking care of the ball. Get back to that, set good screens, make good passes. We'll be all right.
You like the threes that you guys are creating right now?
Yeah, but I don't think the game is going to come down to if we miss or make threes. We better figure out a way to get some stops.
The bench wasn't as productive tonight as it has been recently, but how essential is it? And specifically, I'm curious your take on Al. And it seems like he's back to being who he's been most of the
Al's great. Our bench is great. You have off nights, doesn't matter, but it's never going to be on the bench. It's going to be us as a collective to do what we're supposed to do. Take care of the ball, guard, communicate, all of those things, whether you're a starter and you're in with some of the bench players or you're a bench player and you're out there with other bench players. It's all about effort, communication, and doing what you're supposed to be doing.
What about Al's skill set and demeanor is sort of essential for this team?
Because he's a winner. He's won at every level that he's played at. Ask him to do it, he's going to do it because he knows that's what it takes to win. So, he makes shots. Yeah, he protects the rim. And his energy is always great.